Hey guys, this is Derek from Pure Auto and Detailing. Today we got a 2014 Dodge Ram with an overheating issue. It's got a 5.7 and customer complaint is overheating. So the way I go about diagnosing is let the car run, get up to operating temperature, if it starts to climb and the fan is on, you have eliminated that, your fan is coming on. If it continues to overheat after the fan is on, what I do is I physically touch the upper rad hose. Be careful because sometimes it can be really hot. The upper and lower rad hose. And you compare the heat. If one is hot and one is cold, then what I come to a conclusion is you have a bad thermostat. So on these kind of cars, the thermostat is not that hard. You just have to, it runs off the top antifreeze rad hose. And it goes down into the engine compartment. There's 2 bolts and it comes off fairly easy. If this is something you like, please like and subscribe, and we'll continue to show you the job. I'll show you what parts and part number I'm going to use. Okay, so now this is what you'll need to complete the thermostat job. You'll need a new thermostat, you'll need some antifreeze, you know, some brake parts cleaner to clean some of the parts, and some of the tools you need is a pair of pliers and a long extension with a 13mm or 1/2 inch and a 3/8 ratchet. You'll also need a drain pan so you don't make too much of a mess. So you don't need any hoist or anything fancy. Anybody can pretty much do this kind of job. First things first is you want to get the clamp off. A pair of pliers. Can be a little bit tricky. Okay, so when you do this, make sure the car is been sitting for a while and it's not hot. Make sure your pan is underneath. And just put it aside there. Then you'll need to take 113 on this side and 113 on the opposite side. Sometimes crack it loose. Alright, so second bolt is out. Take the thermostat housing off. Okay, that's thermostat housing. Put that aside, and then in there is your thermostat. So sometimes it'll come off, sometimes you have to just pry them up with the sword pliers. Kind of get stuck inside. And that's your old one. Do is try to just to get as much antifreeze out as you can. You either get an air blower and blow it out, or you can get an old rag and soak up as much as you can. Also, around the rim here, I like to get a screwdriver, some sandpaper, and clean all that up as best you can. So you can get a screwdriver and just kind of scrape away of all the corrosion and debris that's in there. Alright. A rag. Shove it in there. So next step is on a thermostat housing. I like to kind of run some sandpaper over it just to make sure you're getting a clean seal when you put it all back together. So nothing crazy. Run your sandpaper over it, rough it up, get all the grime and stuff off. Okay. And you can also get some parts cleaner off to get off any oily residue. Alright. Same thing for down here. I like to spray a little bit of brake clean just to get it is best to try to get as much antifreeze out as possible. Some people say they make it dry, it will help to seal properly. That is true. But for the most part, the rubber gaskets are pretty safe as long as you put it in straight. So with the thermostat, you'll notice on the back of it or on the front there'll be like a little valve inside. You want to try to position that up so the air can bleed out easier. It'll give you a less hard time with bleeding the air out of your system. Okay? So you just put it back, everything the same way you took it out. Okay, make sure it goes in there nice and flush, and the valve is pointing up. Thermostat housing is put back on. Hold that tight. I like to 1 bolt snug it up by hand. I always start the thread by hand first, so you don't have any issues when you tighten it up. And I always do that because then you can feel the thread and you can feel that it's going in nice and smooth. And you're not going to cross thread or strip any of the threads. It'll give you a lot of problems. Now you'll get your ratchet back and you can tighten it all back up together. So I just like to snug them up. You don't have to brief on them. There is a torque spec if you want to look it up. But I usually just snug them up. Alright. Hose back on. Clamp back on. Usually taking it off is always a lot faster than putting it back on, but here we go. Make sure it's over the lip there. Clamps in place. Great. So now your next step is to fill up your radiator. This is pre-mix 50-50. So you just put your antifreeze in, top it up, let it sit for a few minutes and let all the air bubble out as best you can. On these vehicles, there's not really a bleeding port or anything like that, so you can just let all the bubbles get out. Just take your time, be patient with it, and start the car back up when it's filled with your cap on. And then you'll start your check process again. Let the temperature get up to operating temperature. Your fan will be on, and check your hoses and watch your temperature. And for any questions, you can leave a comment, and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. And like I said, please subscribe and comment. And thank you.